When you think of Michael Jordan's greatest performance, which one comes to mind? The shot on Elo to win the series against the Cavs in '89? How about his iconic shrug game after hitting 6 threes in the first half of the '92 finals? Or is it his legendary flu game against the Jazz in the '97 finals? I can go on forever. MJ owns a handful of the greatest performances in NBA history. But in my opinion...
Hey, let me know before he said, let me know what's y'all favorite in the comments, bro. I ain't gonna lie, every time I watch a new Jordan video, it's like he get more mythical and mythical, like every time. And y'all be in the comments, bro. Y'all be calling me a LeBron fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. My favorite player of all time, personally, is Russell Westbrook. That's personally my favorite player. Who I think is the GOAT? I think it's MJ, but y'all say Bron not even top 5. I think he number 2. But I think if people who say Bron is the GOAT, I don't be mad at him. But y'all, when people say Bron is the GOAT, y'all really get on their head.
6 of the 1998
but look, man,
finals,
like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know in the comments who to react to next. If y'all want more
Jazz
Jordan,
stands
you know what I'm saying?
as his masterpiece. In a decade of complete and utter dominance, Jordan had a chance to do what no one has done in modern NBA history. Capture a second three-peat and his 6th title in 8 years. But it wasn't gonna come easy. Despite being up 3-2 in the series, the pressure Jordan faced was suffocating. This was Chicago's last dance. Coach Phil Jackson was gone at the end of the season, and MJ's second retirement was looming. And to make matters worse, Scottie Pippen gets injured and leaves the court just minutes into Game 6. Everything was on MJ's shoulders. In this one game, Michael Jordan has a chance to do the impossible and solidify himself as the greatest to ever do it.
I ain't know Scottie got hurt.
The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
That nigga Jordan, Jesus.
It's been over a quarter century since MJ's historical Game 6. So much has happened in the NBA since. So to understand the importance, the stakes, the sheer magnitude of this game, we have to go back even further. A selfish scorer, just a dunker, the Pistons' punching bag, the guy with all the talent, but no rings. That was the label.
Bro, but y'all gotta think about it though. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. They was saying Jordan was the GOAT before he had 1 ring. They was calling Jordan the best basketball player of all time before he even had a ring. That's
on to Michael Jordan for the first 6 seasons of his NBA career, until he shattered the narrative. In 1991, Mike and the Bulls finally broke through, capturing his first championship and Finals MVP against the team of the '80s, and it marked the start of a new age in the NBA.
Yeah,
the Jordan era. In '92, he proved it wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He hit Portland with a shrug, back-to-back titles, back-to-back Finals MVPs, and yet the man wanted more. In 1993, he did just that with his 3rd consecutive championship. A three-peat, if you will, a feat that Magic, Bird, Kareem, and many other greats weren't able to pull off. In fact, no team had won 3 straight championships since the Celtics in the '60s.
Dang.
Jordan was already cemented among the game's elite, and apparently, that was enough. At 30 years old, right smack in the middle of his prime, MJ retired from basketball for a multitude of reasons. And you probably know the story. He leaves the game, plays baseball for a little while, gets the itch to return to basketball, and just like that, he's back. Or in Michael's words, he made his return late in the '95 season, but his supporting cast just wasn't the same. The Bulls lost in the 2nd round to the Orlando Magic, and it set the stage for an incredible 1996 season. In his first full year back, MJ captured his 4th MVP.
MJ said, I'm tired of the games, man. First year back, give me MVP.
Chicago went 72-10.
Crazy.
The greatest record in history at the time.
Crazy.
And like he never left, Jordan was back on the mountaintop to capture his 4th ring. But to think the dude is satisfied,
a mythical creature,
would be crazy. In '97, he and the Bulls were poised for another run, and with a meeting against the Malone and Stockton-led Utah Jazz in the finals, MJ went into another dimension.
Down to 5, Jordan.
seconds. He had a stomachache and a headache, and he couldn't go back to sleep. He threw up all night. His history in games where he's either been hurt or sick has been bad news for the opponent.
Turn of the round, and finish to Pippen. Oh, by Jordan. Jordan trying to slip it, and then pull back and hit. Jordan fires for
He said, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a 30 ball with the flute.
Michael Jordan from straight ahead. Has won the chip championship in the last 7 years.
An iconic buzzer beater to beat Utah in Game 1, and with the series tied at 2, the man entered Game 5 crippled by the flu, or food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
And he still snapped. 38 points, 7 boards, 5 dimes, and 3 steals.
Almost a 40
He
ball.
wasn't human. Jordan's greatness was truly unshakable now. Back-to-back titles, 5 in 7 years, and a 5th Finals MVP. The NBA was at MJ's mercy, and another three-peat was officially on the horizon.
Hey,
But
LJ
it
goated.
did come
Yeah, I
without
gotta
some
lie.
pressure. Riding high off their 5th championship, Jordan and the Bulls got a reality check. Prior to the start of the 98 season, GM Jerry Krause told Phil Jackson
Goofy.
that he can go 82-0
Goofy shit.
and he still won't return as coach the following season. The reason? Well, it's due to Jerry's fascination in starting a rebuild right in the middle of a dynasty. Once the news broke, Jordan made
A
it clear that he
rebuild
won't
is
play
crazy.
for anyone but Phil, hinting at retirement. Plus the fact that he was in the final year of his contract made it official. This was
To be that stubborn, bro, is insane. They can go 82-0.
the last dance for the Bulls' dynasty.
That's nasty work, boy. I see why they booed him though. They shouldn't have booed him though. When his wife came out, when I think he died or something like that, he came to the boo. I think they booed him, booed his wife or some shit. That was crazy. That was crazy though. He ain't
Like
deserve
he has
that.
for most of his career, MJ used this as motivation. He averaged 28 points on the season and captured his 5th MVP. A great honor, but not the hardware he was looking for. In round 1 of the playoffs, the dude was scorching as he averaged 36 in a sweep over the Nets. And in round 2, Chicago flexed their dominance, manhandling the Hornets in 5 to set up an
The
Eastern Conference
Hornets?
Finals face-off against Reggie Miller and the Pacers. Chicago came out firing as they won games 1 and 2, but on the road in Indy, the Pacers answered in game 3. And thanks to some late game heroics by Reggie Miller in game 4, this series is tied at 2. The Bulls would answer at home, and then Indiana did the same to force a do-or-die game 7. Just the second such game during the Bulls' dynasty.
Crazy.
But Jordan didn't flinch.
We're gonna win game 7. I never make promises. I don't make promises to my wife, but we will win
Dang.
game 7.
With the dynasty on the line, MJ stayed true to his word.
Fader,
going in
Mags.
28 points to survive and keep the three-peat alive. Indiana pushed them to the edge, but their next opponent will be their greatest test because they know
Cap.
them all too well.
They just beat them.
It
Shit
was the
lightweight.
rematch. Jordan and his Bulls up against a two-headed monster in Utah.
Y'all think this is greatest,
motivated by what happened last season. And game 1
moment.
made that clear. Despite a 33-point outburst from MJ, the Jazz managed to escape with a 3-point overtime win to get one step closer to revenge. But bad news for them, Jordan took that loss personally. In game 2, the man lit Utah's building on fire with a 37-point nuke, including 13 of those in the 4th quarter as the Bulls are headed back to Chicago with the series tied. And it was home sweet home in game 3 as they embarrassed the Jazz in a 42-point massacre.
Dang.
Yes, the largest winning margin in NBA Finals history. And Chicago goes up 2-1. With a chance to go up 3-1, Mike was electric once again with 34 points, including another double-digit 4th quarter. And for the second year in a row, they've put Utah on the brink of elimination. MJ can taste the champagne, but it would have to wait. Karl Malone was a wrecking ball in Game 5, smashing the Bulls for 39-9-5 in the win to avoid elimination, pushing the series back to Utah for a Game 6. Jordan and the Bulls had a golden opportunity to clinch the three-peat at home. Instead, they now face a daunting Game 6 and potential Game 7 on the road. The pressure was mounting. A Game 7 with an older, injured, worn-down Bulls team is not ideal. It had to end now. MJ has to get his 6th in 6.
In 6. They just said, calm down, chill.
MJ and the Bulls are back in Utah looking to put an end to this series and cap off their dynasty with a 6th and final championship. And as if the pressure on Jordan wasn't already sky high, it hit its peak just minutes into Game 6. On the first play of the night, Pippen throws down a two-handed slam and immediately grimaces. Scottie had been dealing with a back issue throughout the series.
Damn.
And this dunk completely handicapped him, putting an even bigger burden on Jordan. At the 7-minute mark, the man announces his arrival with a patented fadeaway over Stockton for his first bucket of the game. And just a minute later, he extends his range out to the left wing, lacing a triple to put Chicago up 7. MJ was starting to get a feel for the game, but right as he was, it went south. Laboring with that back injury, Pippen heads back to the locker room at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, officially leaving Jordan all by his lonesome.
He got Dennis.
He finished the quarter with a hezzy pull-up.
He got Dennis and Tony Kukoc. He be alright. Hezzy fade.
But other than that, it wasn't very pretty. 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting, getting outplayed by Karl Malone.
It's only the first though.
12 at the end of the frame. And with Scottie Pippen still in the locker room to start the second quarter, Jordan had to turn it on. And I think he sensed it.
Jordan,
come here.
Daylight for 3.
Faders. Oh.
Inside around Anderson.
Let me hold that.
Free and takes the lob from Kukoc. Jordan for 3. And there's his answer. It was Russell's first basket. Here's Michael.
Fades.
He's got 21.
Playing with me. Come here. Put you down here. You too little. You too little. Faders. Hold on, but that look nostalgic. I need to see that again.
He's got 21. Jordan's the guy they want. Even more so than usual. And that's what
I used to do that. I used to do that in the mock at the park.
Nasty footwork in the paint, a long-range triple, a lob at the cup, another 3 from the right wing, a tough jumper, and then another fadeaway to mark his 6th straight field goal made in this quarter.
Crazy.
MJ was an inferno. Even at 35 years old, lacking some of the athleticism he used to have, the man was still able to take over games with his assassin-like shot making. But despite his sizzling 15-point second quarter to give him 23 at halftime, the Bulls still found themselves down 4.
Damn.
They needed a spark, and at the beginning of the third quarter, they got just that. Pippen was back for the start of the period, but you can tell he wasn't 100%. The dude was gonna be a decoy out there. At the 8-minute mark of the third, Jordan swishes home a midi to get Chicago within 4. But that wasn't the talking point of the quarter. Just minutes later, tempers start to flare as Malone and Rodman get into some sort of wrestling match. And as that's going on, at the other end of the court,
that's why you need Dennis
and MJ give each other a shot. Russell's pissed, but Mike is unfazed. He's got something in store for him a little bit later.
Jordan open.
On the next possession, Michael goes right at Russell and loses him with a filthy shimmy into a fadeaway.
Can't go on me, Russell. What you talking?
Put him up to 27 points on the night. But coming off his heater of a second quarter, the third was pretty underwhelming. Sitting at a solid 29 on the night, he put in just 6 in the frame on 2 for 6 shooting and 2 for 4 at the line. Fatigue seemed to be playing a serious factor. I mean, for context, the dude is in a deep postseason run for the 3rd straight season, and he hasn't missed a single game, regular season or playoffs, since he returned from retirement. The sheer amount of miles on his legs seemed to be catching up to him. So, considering his fatigue and Scottie's injury,
this man played 82 games all 3 seasons and went to the finals, won the finals all 3 seasons, bro. What was he on, bro? Somebody gotta let me know what type shit. He had superpowers, bro. What the fuck?
MJ can't allow this
Jordan wasn't
series
human,
to go
bro.
7. It has to end now.
His body, he ain't real. What was that juice he was drinking? That's a special juice. That Gatorade? What that? Orange Gatorade?
To start the fourth quarter, he drives and fades off the block for a wet jumper to put him up to 33 points.
Yeah,
his reaction? Ice cold. It's time to kill.
It's time to kill.
He knocks down 2 free throws to get within 1, and on the very next possession, he finds his sweet spot in the mid-range and fills up the cup to give Chicago the lead, shooting his total up to 37 points. The clutch god was showing out. Then he disappeared. Midway through the quarter, MJ went cold, missing 3 straight field goals within a minute, all of which were short, a telltale sign that a player is fatigued since he can't get enough elevation on his jumper. This was worrisome.
But the other one was kind of long.
Mike launches a 3 and he's short yet again. Utah comes back down and Malone flares for a wide open jumper to put the Jazz up 4 with 2 minutes to go. It looked like this one was slipping through the Bulls' hands. Jordan has to dig deep. Off the Malone bucket, MJ comes back and attacks the rim. Brian Russell fouls him, and he catches his breath at the free throw line as he drains both shots to get Chicago within 2. Moments later, he relentlessly attacks the rim again, gets fouled again, and as he shoots these massively
get them freeze, man.
With 59
calm down.
Seconds to go,
slow the game down.
Rodman is so confident that he's gonna make them that he turns away from the rim and is talking to fans as Michael laces them. The game is tied at 83. The Jazz make their way
Dennis
down the
already
court,
know what
and
it
Stockton
is.
finds a weak spot in the defense. Karl Malone dots him out of the post. He lines up the seams and splashes a monster 3 to put Utah up with 41 seconds remaining. A heart stopper. Chicago calls timeout and a game 7 is less than a minute away. It was a 3-pointer that seemed to force Jordan and the Bulls into an inevitable game 7 in Utah. But in reality, it set into motion a series of events that led to the crowning jewel of the Bulls' dynasty. Running on fumes with whatever energy he has left in the final 41 seconds, Michael Jordan, like he has his entire career, delivered with the single greatest sequence in sports history.
Pop, pop, pop. Go get you a bucket real quick. And 1. That should have been an and 1, to be honest with you. That should have been an and 1. That should have been an and 1. If we keeping it real.
Now it puts the pressure on the Jazz to score once again.
Jordan said, I'm gonna do it all by my lonely today. They did that goof ass shit. This is some of the goofiest basketball I've seen in my life by the Jazz. What the fuck are you doing? And then not even gonna double team my man. Brian Russell, you walk. They said, hey, Brian Russell, you got him. You got him. You good. Boy, I am Jesus.
Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Nasty.
Utah.
Killer.
5.2 seconds left.
Straight
Michael
killer.
Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
45.
If this wasn't a movie, you wouldn't believe it. The greatest player in the history of the game with the ball down by 1 breaks his defender's ankles and perfectly swishes home the jumper to get his team 5 seconds away from their second three-peat and 6th championship in
Disrespectful.
8 years.
We're
But
gonna
it
put
wasn't
one
just
up.
the shot either.
You ain't
It was
sent
the
a
tough
double?
banker off glass into a crucial steal on the opposing team's best player that led to the iconic shot. It was absolute perfection. In the final 41 seconds, no other player on the Bulls touched the ball. It was all MJ. With all the pressure of this being the last gasp of Chicago's dynasty and Jordan's final moments in a Bulls uniform, he sealed it in storybook fashion with
Come
his
here.
45th point of the night. It is, in my opinion, the greatest moment in the history of basketball.
Think so?
But I must mention that there's still 5 seconds left. Utah's coming out of their timeout down by 1.
I think
One
Kyrie shot rival is.
send
I
the
ain't gonna lie, I'm
series
keeping the
to a
beam 50
7th
with y'all.
game. Either we're going 7 or Michael Jordan's final
I ain't say it was better,
moment
I said
in Chicago
rivals it.
uniform is a masterpiece.
Stockton. Harper's on him. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of
He
it.
shot that dumbass.
Off. Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
Damn.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner, that my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe.
He destroyed it. He destroyed the game. I ain't gonna lie. You can't come close to Jordan. I ain't gonna, I'm keeping it 100. There's no way nobody in history gonna ever be better than Jordan, bro. Because nobody is never gonna have 9 scoring titles, 6 rank. It's not gonna happen, bro. It's just a period in time where a GOAT was able to rise. You ain't doing that shit, boy. Nowadays, you ain't come close to Jordan. Jordan is like, that's why I don't even know why people be like trying to even debate Jordan. Just put Jordan over here. Leave him alone. Okay? And then you put Bron somewhere here and then leave him alone. And then everybody else fight for it. That's how I think, but y'all gonna be on my head in the comments. You don't know ball, you a LeBron fan, you a Goomer, Doomer, Gen Zer. I love y'all too, man. Look, man, like, comment, subscribe though, bro. This is a good vid. I like watching Jordan vids though. Like, it's like watching Jesus. Like, let me stop. But look, I'm gonna see y'all in that video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. I appreciate everybody who support me this channel. Everybody who comment, show love. Y'all real ones. But you already know what's going on.